So I thought my next video was going to be about I was gonna sit down and do like this quiet, relaxing, like no edits, and just like build and talk to you, but do it softly in an ASMR type of relaxing video, and we just sit down and put on some molding, because that is what is left in the stage here. However, I did encounter some problems when building. First of all, it doesn't look as big as I would like it to be. I mean, that can be solved by buying more of these panels and spreading it out. Also, I had to come up with a way of how to put in the ceilings. I was liking how the rafters were looking in this, and I mean, it is kind of rustic, however, not so much now, and let me explain. First of all, I took some like experimental pictures to see how it could look, and I did not like the contrast between the white and the wood. So now I'm second guessing if I'm going to have to paint or not. And then that makes me question all of the gold trim, because I'm not going to use the gold glue and make gold trim, which I don't think I didn't talk too much about this in my past few videos about making the gold trim with hot glue from the Dollar Tree. But a piece came off. Like, well, I mean, I could see that a corner was coming up, so I pulled it off all of the way, and I might want to remove the trim altogether. I mean, when I'm choosing popsicle sticks, I like to choose ones that contrast so the molding stands out, but I think I might have made the molding stand out too much. I think that there's too much of a contrast between the two colors here, so that's a problem. Okay, but maybe this white and it looks like a construction zone in some of the pictures to me, and maybe because it is still under construction, like the dioramas that I had made before, I always was under this impression that it was more of a linen look, but everybody, like, well, not everybody, but often I would get comments that said, oh, you should paint it, I would paint it, and I never wanted to do that, but I'm thinking, because I have these whitewashed floors, that I might have to paint it white. However, that being said, when I bring in the kind of furniture that I make and will be making for this space, it's basically going to be wood, and the highlights are going to be white. So the wood is going to cover the floor, and then the white part is going to match with the floor. So it would kind of all pull it together in the end. So maybe I have to not consider that, because I really do like that warm color that the natural wood provides. And I'm not one of those people. Like, it's very common that men, when they're doing their real homes, and like you're restoring a Victorian home, they don't want to paint the wood. But I'm one of the guys that I would totally paint everything white, because I like a clean surface. However, if it's going to be this unfinished oak, then, well, I don't want to, and that's the vibe that I always would want. I mean, ideally these floors wouldn't have been white, but it's what I found at the dollar store, and I thought that they would look industrial, and that's the other thing. It is turning out a little more industrial. Like I said, when I was taking pictures, it looked like a construction zone. However, industrial is something that I like, so I can work with that, as long as I, bring in pretty, beautiful things, soft things, natural things to offset the industrial. But yes, you can see as soon as I put the things that I like in the space, that it does distract from that contrast between the floor and the wood stained floors. And also, if I can just say this, I hadn't finished the molding yet. So let's get all of the moldings done first, and then see how, once it's not looking like a construction zone. Okay, there was a huge struggle. Speaking of construction zones, check out this. So I was trying to figure out how to, like, I need to put in a middle segment. So my idea was, and I think I've seen this in like pioneer construction and just rudimentary construction where you're putting the beams. So I had taken, oh, do I have that? Oh, the one thing that I don't, standing by, oh, I do. I thought, how can I connect these pieces? So my idea was, because I like the beams in the ceilings, like I could have chosen to put this upside down and make this the wood ceilings, but I liked the effect of the beams, and to be able to take pictures back far, I had to be able to have a ceiling in here, otherwise you couldn't go back far enough, or it wouldn't be, you would see the room or whatever behind, because I've discovered that from my space station, my official Barbie space station, that if you have an enclosed area, you can take really zoomed out pictures, and it looks so much better. So that is what happened here, where I was trying to figure out a way. However, have you ever used a drill? And I should have like Googled more on this, but this always happens, and maybe it's because the wood was soft on these things. And then my drill bit, it was a nice big drill bit, and it had this really long point on it. I don't have that standing by, no, I put it away. And I thought, okay, so it's not going to shift around, because I was worried about that, because when if you've ever drilled before, it will like shift a little bit in the direction, and I didn't want to happen. I carefully measured every single corner so that I could put these dowels through, and I cut these to perfect size so that I could put one through, and I even liked the detail that it made. So you would put it through two to connect them, and you would even have these little things here, and I didn't mind that at all. I thought it looked really cool. It looked exactly like how they would support beams in a real old pioneer home, castle, mansion. However, I mean, it didn't work, because like I said, they were shifting, and by the time I joined all of these things, it was all buckled, and some were higher and some were lower, and some they didn't go. Anyway, so right now, luckily my pegs fit, so now I have to cut these even little smaller ones, and I'm gonna have to paint this. I'm gonna have to fill in the paint. Luckily, one of the little canvases that I bought once with a scene on it came with all of these little acrylic paints. So I do have some paint for touch-up, but I am going to glue these little pegs back in here, and I mean, it's a good thing I like rustic design, but I think hopefully the white will distract more from it too, and it won't show up. But this was my original idea, and I went back to this. I didn't want to do this because I wanted the option of taking the panels and moving them around and using sometimes the ceiling ones as floors, but this is the idea of what I came up with, to be able to put middle ceilings in, because I have walls to attach this ceiling to in the different places. So we have a corner unit which allows for this whole thing to be attached. So it was important to have these ceilings on, like I said, for the pictures. But for me to have a middle unit, there was no support for this. So that is why I wanted to put those pegs, those dowels through there like that. But now I made a little grooved ceiling by putting on those two boards, so that now we have little notches for it to fit into. And it is better, and these joints between the floors, they're bothering me a little bit more than I thought they would. Again, it's super industrial, and now especially that I have moved the furniture in, like this for the example, it is all pulling together and looking a little better. Now here's another problem that I encountered when I was doing the ceilings. Like, none of these panels, and maybe it's because they're from the dollar store, but maybe in general they would be uneven, so everything was a little bit crooked, and that would have been different if I made this all one unit. But it is very important to me that I made it so that it could come apart and be transformable, and I can make smaller rooms and bigger rooms with the little boxes. So when you're putting everything together as one giant piece, you're able to put little shims and things in to line everything up. However, this was really crooked, and these were really crooked, and this board slanted up and was higher, and then these sometimes have curves to them too. I mean, I chose the right ones in the right angles for this main base piece so that things did line up, but it was really high, I think, so I couldn't really, it wasn't even and everything. So what I had to do was I had to take my planer, and then I had to take off some of my moldings that I made, and I had to plane this down and do it and kept putting on the roof until I saw that it laid straight and that it matched up here, I mean, as much as possible. Again, rudimentary castle. It's okay that it's not perfect, and because of the materials themselves, because of the materials themselves are unperfect, that it wasn't perfect, but I did get a pretty good match here. And yeah, by planing and putting in little shims and gluing, and I am really happy that I have these pieces, because this 3-room can now turn into a 2-room by butting the two together. I mean, I still have things that don't join. This piece is the biggest problem. Every one of whoa, I'm trying, I don't want to break anything and knock anything down. But where these pieces, where this wall, come on, I can do this. I can do this without breaking everything. Where I'll never see this, but where this wall edge hits this wall, it's flush and it's perfect. Oh, I got sawdust still around here. However, this one comes out a little bit, and there's a little bit. Oh no! Don't mix china with metal, especially when I'm around. Dangerous. This one slants a little bit forward, so well, you can kind of see that there is a tiny little gap there, but I'm always going to be taking pictures from these angles. You're never going to see behind these walls. We're never going to see this. However, that's not entirely true, because like I said in other videos, I think I will also set these up to make some kind of display or backdrop that I can use on these, so that the walls can be turned around and used in other different ways. But that is an upcoming project. We'll get the main project going first, and that is what the next videos will contain. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, I might have it too lit. I don't have the best scene right now, so we're going with a brick wall view. So not the best view, but at least I can light it, and one day I'm going to find that perfect backdrop or painting or something that looks hopefully like a scene of Paris that I can get. I mean, my windows are really big, so I have to find a really big picture. And you can't really take advantage of my big windows. So now, especially now that I have the camera going on, I think I'm going to have to hunt down more of these floorboards. Oh, and that's something that I meant to mention many times. I think I started to a couple times. Not all of these floorboards were built the same. These ones, these came white one. Like these probably would have been. I probably would have liked these better, but you know how I made these? I bought 3 of these from a store, and they were from the same store, they're from the dollar store, but they were made different. They didn't have as much texture, and the white paint was coming off on my fingers, unlike these ones where the paint, it feels like it's soaked into the wood. I had to like the paint was coming off, and also the dimensions were different, so it's like a different batch that they made, and some of them, I don't know if it's because I worked them, because I took them into the shower with me and I scrubbed them down, and I scrubbed all of the white paint, well, not most of the white paint off of them, so they can't. They were made differently. This is a different kind of wood. This is a more finished, sanded down wood. These ones have, you can see more texture, and the paint is soaked into them. These ones rejected the whitewash that they put on them. So, I mean, I wasted, well, I can't say that I wasted $15 because I can make 3 more box rooms with this. That would be separate. But right now, actually, I mean, it was actually a lot of work to scrub these down and clean off the white paint. But I mean, I would have preferred to have this floor. No, I can't say that actually, especially because everything that I'm going to decorate with is going to be white cotton based or wood based. Like, there is definitely going to be a lot. Well, it's going to be natural cotton, not necessarily white, but I mean, white is the color. Like, you would never have wood walls in real life. I would always paint the walls. I'd whitewash everything. The backdrop should be white. I always think that, but because of the beautiful linen walls that I can make from the muted tones of the wood of these panels, that's what I go with the most, and it's easier, and I hate painting, to tell you the truth, and I don't even know how to paint on that scale. I don't know what I would do. I don't know if it would spray paint it. I don't know if I would, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about painting small scale stuff without making streaks and stuff. I mean, I guess I would experiment and come up with how you do it, but hopefully I don't have to. And yes, bringing in the furniture right now is doing that. This is costing me a fortune. I mean, it's worth it, I think, because first of all, it's a soothing, wonderful task, and I'm living vicariously through, like, because I can't construct my own perfect home, I can at least construct a minimal one. I've heard stuff recently where it's actually really, really good to there's so many benefits to having doll houses. I think it is mostly a vicarious thing. And, being crafty and imaginative and creative are all good things. However, and I'll be able to use this. Like, this will be, like, the last rooms that I made have been so useful. I don't want to take pictures anywhere else. So this is definitely going to be the best. It also doubles as my work desk. So where I'm even going to be able to turn this stuff around and build dioramas where the camera will be on the other side. And I will also turn this all around, but it's on my big table that I have here. But I usually just stick my camera right back here, in here, and record on this surface. My backdrop is normally behind me, behind you right now. So it's working very well that way too. So I guess I do have to expand it. I think I might have to go to the dollar store today and find 3 more panels. The struggle here is finding the ones that lay flat, because I noticed that a lot are buckled, but I think I did straighten that out. I mean, before, like I told you, I was using those dowels and pegs and the holes to drill everything and really hold it into place. But I mean, this is much better that it's more loose. And these 2 center panels, now that I'm gonna have to, oh, I just realized that I would have to get, oh no, I'd have to buy 6 more of these. And that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, that's $30 more to the project. Each one of these are $5. And I don't want them to run out. Like, I want to be able to get the first batch, because apparently the second batch of these, so I have to go around to all of the Dollorama stores in my area. Luckily, there's hundreds of Dollaramas in my city, so I can usually find what I'm looking for. But I don't want to get the new stock, because the new stock won't match my old stock. Because, like I said, the paint is wrong, the finish is different, and the dimensions, even though this one is lining up at the same dimension. Maybe these, I have 3 of these, aren't all the same dimensions. Anyway, I get to make more rooms in the future with these ones. I love the finish of these floors, so something a little more rustic. Oh, I'm struggling here between making things look turn of the century. We don't want old farmhouse. That's not what I'm going for. Even though, I mean, I like farmhouse is good, but that, whatever that design genre farmhouse, that we're not going for. We're not looking for signs. And I mean, a lot of people like it, obviously. That's what you find at all those TJX stores. Okay, I'm done talking for today. I really hope that the paint is going to fix up the little holes, the hole problem that I made. So I do have to make all kinds of little nubs. I'm going to glue, first of all, the little wood things back in. I have to fill all my holes. So sad. And then I'll paint over it, and hopefully that will hide well. Because that does look a little bit messy right now. Yeah. So I'll give you an update on that next, and then the next video will be me doing the moldings. It takes quite a while, actually, so we might do a few very relaxing videos. As you can tell, I don't have a problem finding anything to talk about, so I will talk quietly while I lay out the molds on these things, and then I decide, do I rip off the rest of this gold molding? Do I put it back on? Do I paint over it? Do I take it off, paint everything white, then put the gold stuff back on again? I don't know. I guess I don't. I guess we've decided today that I don't have to paint. We have these little fix-ups to do. I'll probably do that without you, where I'll just finish the moldings. I did all of this stuff without you. I put on the baseboards and the crown molding on everything, because I have done that before in other videos, but I am saving this one. It's probably going to be like, it probably takes me at least an hour to do the crown moldings, so I think that I will do that with that last panel in the next video, and then we will do the wall moldings separately, and how I measure, and what choices I make. Yeah, right now you can see that this one's a little smaller, so it doesn't look so good next to each other, but once we balance it out with the thinner on this side, and then I think I'm going to do thick, long, thick. Well, this is hard to explain. There's going to be an edge here, which we'll talk about that later. I've gone on enough. Let me know what you think. Does it look like too much of a construction zone? Do you think to paint or not to paint? Leave a comment down below. Love you so much. See you next time.